think it's gonna burn if I put it right on top of the heater. I think I'll have to hold it. Huh. Let's hope it doesn't. Hi, I'm in the sauna. I'm in the, what is this called? Infrared sauna, all the different colors. I just finished the LED bed. Oh, there's something about that bed. At about 10 minutes out of 12, I wish it happened after 2 minutes, but it's about 10 minutes. Something goes, shh, my nervous system, I just feel so at peace. I love it. And I'm reminded of, I was listening to an older interview with Tim Ferriss interviewing Sia. And she's a wise woman. She's a funny woman. A great sense of humor and also well-educated on well-being. And she was saying how talking to her friend for 20 minutes will literally they'll co-regulate. And 20 minutes, her system will calm down because she trusts her friend trusts her. So there has to be trust. And the addictive behaviors, you have the capacity not to do the addictive behavior if you can be with somebody for 20 minutes and co-regulate your system. It makes me think about two things. One, why I've structured intuitively, I didn't know this information of co-regulation, but intuitively I meet with my clients every single week in group calls. I've got 4 or 5 group calls every single week with different groups, different times, because we need each other. I know that. And I know by the end of talking to every single person, at the end of the hour and 15, we're all in a better place. We're all in love. We all feel safe. We all feel home. It's just like what I just felt in the LED bed. Everything's okay. Absolutely everything's okay. And as you watch this wonderful podcast with Bob Grant, that's what I felt talking to him. You know, he's interviewed me before, so I know him. He knows what he's doing. And my body, by the end of the interview, I think I even said it to him, or maybe it was after the show on Patreon, but I just said, my body just feels so safe in your presence. And I just feel so good and so much better than when we started this interview. Not that I felt bad, but I feel good. And I really acknowledged him for that. So as you listen to this interview, see what happens to your body. Do you have people in your life, like a facilitator or counselor like Bob or myself? Do you have a group that you get together with once a week or more? And do you have that person that you trust and they trust you, and you can call them up when you're on the edge and you want to do that addictive behavior, whether it's that bag of chips or worse, and you can co-regulate together. And then, oh my God, shall we put that on our list of what we're looking for in a partner, if you're single, or if you're in a partnership, to integrate your wounds so you can be that space for one another. Have your primary partner be that person where you co-regulate and you come back to center, to 0 point, to home. Oh, that is officially going on my list of who I'm looking for. I guess we all, kind of want that, but we can be really specific about the why. We can understand what literally happens to our bodies, which then of course opens our heart, opens our creativity, helps us ascend to 5D. I mean, let's all choose this. Let's all be worthy and deserving and do the inner work to know we are deserving of having that, and then receive that. All right, enjoy this incredible conversation with Bob Grant.
Welcome to Intimate Conversations, Season 13, Heart Broken Open, where intimacy is an inside job. Hello, delicious people. Welcome to another episode of Intimate Conversations. Here we are, Season 13, Lucky 13, Heart Broken Open. And with me today, I've had the pleasure of meeting him before, being interviewed by him. And so now we have the pleasure of having Bob Grant on our program. And he is a clinically trained relationship expert. He's podcaster and the best-selling author of The Woman Men Adore. Get that again, ladies. The Woman Men Adore. He's the founder of Relationship Headquarters, where he specializes in helping women emotionally connect with a man, attract true love, get married, and for those in a relationship, get unstuck and begin connecting as a couple. And you can learn more at relationshipheadquarters.com. And we'll also give you a link on how to book a 15-minute session with Bob himself. So Great to see you. How have you been since we first connected? What's
Oh,
new
good.
in your world?
Nice and busy. We're getting ready to promote you and tell even more people about you.
Aw.
And as you know, all the details behind the scenes that go into that to make it run smoothly. So, but
It's a
I'm happy
big
to be here.
it's a big endeavor. Yeah. Have you had much downtime, self-care time, any of that? Or you've been, you know,
Yes, but I've noticed that if stay busy once I'm in a groove and just pay attention to my body, I mean, I've listened to some of your podcasts. I love the listening part,
uh-huh.
is that when it's time to pull back, just pull back. And
Right.
then when I have extra energy, just kind of pour into that. And it really helps when you love doing it. I mean, the fun thing with me with interviewing you and some other experts is just the wisdom and the perspectives are different. And coming from a place of I've lived this or I've been through this,
Yeah.
yours was especially, I remember when you shared, you were real vulnerable with that. The ladies are going to love that. The
Oh,
men that watch too.
oh, wonderful. Thank you. It's brave to be vulnerable because in my experience anyways, I set myself up for rejection. Um, but to me, it's much more important to be real. I can't keep track of who did I lie to? Who did I tell the truth to? Like it's just,
Mhm,
I'm not that
mhm,
smart. So it's just tell the
mhm.
truth, be real, and hopefully be an invitation for others to be vulnerable as well. Yeah. Yeah. How did
Well,
you, oh, go ahead.
I mean, I like even the way you said that because I remember our interview, just it was so easy to tell who Elena was. There was
Mm.
no, she's fun, she's bubbly, she's been through pain, she's recovered, but there's not a lot of guesswork, and it's not so much
Yeah.
transparent, but just feel like I got to know you in that hour.
Mhm.
Even though I've watched the podcast, I'm like, oh, it's almost like sitting across from coffee with
Well,
someone just chatting. As
there
I
we
saw that,
go.
that's probably what triggered that thought.
Exactly. Well, to me, life is an opportunity to be intimate. I remember as a little girl, I'd love to know your upbringing that led you to be who you are. Like my mom would come home, she was a teacher. And for some reason, my sister would always go to her room and shut the door. We could always hear various voices in there, like playing with Barbies, or I don't know who was in there. But,
Hmm.
anyways, but I would always want to have a talk with my mom. We would sit down and have a cup of tea. Then I'd go do my homework. She'd make dinner or whatever we would do. I love intimate conversations, is the name of this podcast. So how do you think you came to be the amazing clinical trained relationship expert that you are?
You know, growing up, I didn't know, but I still have a learning disability, and and it wasn't bad enough where I couldn't pass, but it was always a struggle,
Oh,
and I never felt like anyone understood me. And
yeah,
was told try harder, or if you just tried harder,
yeah,
and I would try harder, and I'd make C's, and so I could pass. And it wasn't horrific, but it was just constantly there, and that
yeah,
feeling of just I knew something was off because I get what people were saying,
yeah.
but it just wouldn't stick. And then by the time I was in high school, my mom pulled me aside and she said, Bobby, I was called Bobby. Then she says,
Mm,
something's wrong. My first thought was, I'm retarded. She
mm,
said, no, you're not nothing defective. She said, but I've always known, and we can get tested if you want or not.
mm.
And I'm like, okay, go ahead. And once they did and they found out what was going on, I had a short-term auditory, so someone could say something, I wouldn't remember it. Oh, that's why I had trouble in school. And it made sense. But I never forgot that feeling, what it was like for someone to understand what was going on and to explain it to me in a really simple way.
Yeah,
And that was just like life changing to me. And then I got tutoring and learned how to focus better and I learned what to do.
yeah,
But if you don't know what to do, you try hard, but you just
yeah,
go in circles. It's in survival mode.
totally.
And and you have thoughts about yourself. I did wondering, and I was always pretty sensitive anyway. So I was hard on myself because of that.
Yeah,
But then once I learned how, I just never forgot that. And I've taken that with me because I like taking complicated things or messy things, I think the way you describe it,
uh,
and saying, here's the reason behind this, or here's why this is going on. There's a way, and that's why I love your let's walk toward it approach.
yeah.
Running away from it makes it worse.
Thank
And
you.
just but going toward it. And so when someone's authentic, what I love about that is that it makes you more of who you are, and the people that love you are going to love you even more. And it gets
Amen.
rid of folks that aren't a good fit.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah. Rejection is protection.
It is. I remember that. I remember that phrase. Yes.
Wow, what a beautiful story and what a wonderful mother. It
Mhm.
sounds like she was intuitive, just waiting for the right time. Um,
Mhm.
to let you go through that and give you the tools you needed.
Mhm.
I love that. Is she still around today?
She is not.
No.
Just all the wonderful memories, though.
Nice. Well, hopefully my mom and your mom are having cup of tea, cup of coffee,
Mhm.
or tequila, whatever. I don't know what your mom
Mhm.
was like, but
Mhm.
up in heaven watching
Yeah.
us right now. Wonderful.
Mhm.
So as you became a relationship expert, what did you find? Most of us have our niches. Like we tend to attract a
Mhm.
certain kind of client with a certain kind of issue. And in your bio, we were saying helping women emotionally connect with men. Is that the common kind of woman that you attract and you're able to help?
Yeah, that's what I found is the most powerful, most predictable way of success.
Mm,
I started off in a hospital setting where you had to see everyone. And so
mm,
there was no, if it doesn't work, send them someplace else. I mean, we were it. So it
okay.
was helpful. I love the creativity of it and working on different things, eating disorders to dissociatives to all kinds of stuff. And I was
Wow.
fascinated with all that. Yeah, it was,
Wow.
but then I realized I didn't want to do that the rest of my life. Just
Okay.
it was overwhelming at times.
Yeah.
And so then once I went out in private practice, I had a client, it was a hairstylist,
Okay.
and she liked me. I made some suggestions, and she was a sneezer. She told everyone that came in her chair about me,
A
and most of
sneeze.
these were women in their 30s that
Yeah.
dated a lot, couldn't get married, and so I
Okay.
just got a dose of that, and I just liked that client because they were frustrated, sincere. They were open to just I've tried everything. This isn't
Mm,
working. Just dating all the time. Nothing's
yeah.
and once I got some results with that, then someone said you ought to write a book. Wrote a
Yeah.
book, probably like
Yeah.
all of our success, you with your
Yeah.
13 years in podcast. I mean, it just happens where you do it one week after the next,
Yeah.
and just really liked it. And then the theme I found was that, the women that were really hard on themselves, that would
Mm,
disconnect, that would think a lot instead of feel,
yes.
that works at work to a certain degree,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then a relationship, they try to do that, and there's a struggle there. And it's not to put it all on them, but they had control over that
Right.
versus like, I just need to find the perfect guy.
Right.
And when they would do that, that's what's appealing with some of the stuff I've heard you say is when they would let themselves feel sad
Mm,
or let themselves feel overwhelmed, men noticed a difference and they were like, I don't get it. I don't feel confident. Why are these guys like approaching me? Why are they? I said,
because
because
you're
you're feeling
because you're
it.
real. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
real.
Yeah.
And that's just stuck. And I've enjoyed it. And like you, I probably could do a lot of other things, but I just like this because I know if we can impact a woman, I think she has a greater chance of impacting a man than vice versa. At least that's been my experience.
Interesting. There's statements like the woman is the seed or soul of the family, this kind of thing. Um,
Hmm.
uh,
I believe that.
yeah. So you're teaching them to get out of their head and into their feelings, which I love. And you're asking them to do it in a very vulnerable, brave way because their mind says, oh, now he's going to reject me, but they're getting a different result that he's actually leaning in and coming closer. What do you tell them to do? Like if you're at dinner and you're sad, cry,
Hmm.
or if he asks you, how are you? Don't say fine, like tell him the
Uh,
truth. Like what are some of the ways you begin to help them, I guess, open up?
so let's do what I've heard you do and go a little more in depth and let's talk about your shadow.
Nice.
So there's different people how they interpret it, but that's usually the part of us I'm thinking that we're afraid is true. It doesn't mean it is true, but I'm afraid
Yeah.
that I'm overwhelming, or I'm
Yeah.
afraid I'm stupid, or I'm afraid, usually it's primitive. And
Yes.
we do a lot of stuff to avoid that. So if you ever
Right.
saw Cheers, Cliffy was a know-it-all because his shadow was he's stupid. That's
Right.
what he was trying to overcome.
Yes. Yes.
And I've got a story that'll illustrate this. One of the
Mm,
first ones I did this with her fear, we dug around, we were talking again. She dated a lot. She
mm,
no trouble getting dates, but just that's as far as it went. And she kept looking for a technique. I'm like, I don't think there's a technique for this. This is probably a little deeper. So we dug around and we got to her fear
mm.
was that she was ugly.
Oh,
She slept around a lot starting at 14, disconnected from her parents. So at least boys were nice to her and they were nice to her when she would sleep with them.
right.
And then all the way to 31. And she's so lonely at this point. And
Yeah.
so it was okay, let's embrace that. And she knew me, so she trusts me. I want you to give yourself permission to be ugly. What? That's the look on her face.
Yeah.
And then when she does this, I said, no, literally. I said, because if you really thought you were ugly, you would do stuff to fix it. I said, part of you knows you're not.
Right.
I mean, you know, that's why it's an unfixable problem. It's just,
Right.
I can never be pretty enough And so she did it, not knowing what she was doing. After a week, she came back in. She says, "Bob, this isn't helping. This is getting worse." I said, "I appreciate that. Just give me just one more week. Just a." And I said, if it gets too overwhelming, you can stop. So she wasn't allowed to look in the mirror to check herself because that's what she'd reassure her. No, none of that.
Okay.
And then she goes to church. It's a big church here in Atlanta, one of them. And she goes and she's called her moo outfit or jean dress, no makeup. I just
Uh,
felt just grungy.
yep.
Sits in the back away from her friends, doesn't want to. After the service, a couple of friends come up and see her and they say, "Hey, you look great." Now, she's feeling like dirt.
Yeah.
You could tell they're not kidding, but she's like, "What?" She thanks, and her head spinning, and they're all happy to see her. She goes outside. Two guys, this is a pretty big church, chase her down the parking lot to get her phone number. The first thing she did when she came in the session, she's like almost mad. "Bob, what's going on?"
Yeah.
And I said, "You're glowing." Because you
Yeah.
don't feel it. I said, and I've seen that when women do this, when they'll embrace, give themselves permission
Their
to
deepest fear.
be,
Yeah.
kind. I've heard you use the verbiage, but I've heard when we were talking almost the same thing of the authentic self, the real
Yeah.
self, the
Yeah.
kind to your soul. And she was the first. I've heard it doesn't happen all the time, and it's not a button we push. Yeah, that's the thing. It's not a technique. I mean, we
Right.
can do those, but not core.
No, it's not a script. Yeah.
It's not a script. I mean, I love scripts within context,
Mm,
but not scripts don't fix pain.
right.
And I've been doing that since. And we even have a program, the Campfire program, where we go through that in 3 months with someone journaling. And that's what I'm after with them is let's embrace this. Because what I've found is that I could take a little girl
Mm,
and she can be a stranger. Women are naturally kind to that little girl. She's hungry. What's wrong? Sit
yeah.
down next to me. If she's sad, it's okay.
Yeah.
With their own heart. Because I read the journaling. They are brutal. You ladies are brutal with yourself,
Yes.
much more so than most people are.
Mm,
And I said, it's a double standard. All I want you to do is treat your heart the way you would any little girl,
yeah.
whether that feels selfish or whatever. And the ones that do that, have permission to be sad or have permission to be angry or
Yeah.
scared or
Yeah.
overwhelmed.
Yeah. Oh, Bob, I love this. I totally love this. One of my Atlanta Prep Method processes, all of them are basically a combination of everything I've learned in 20 years in the best theatrical concoction I can come up with. Was a little you process. And
Oh, yeah.
it's very much
Mhm.
about talking to this part of us and in not going in with the intention to fix or change, but
Yes.
with the intention to be with them as they are forever, throw away the key. And that part's like, what? You love me when I'm ugly? For example, with this
Mhm.
client? Yeah.
Mhm.
Something
Mhm.
relaxes. And as you said,
Mhm.
the communion inside happens. So then the
Mhm.
glow, the radiance can happen. When we stop trying to overcome that thing we're terrified everyone's going to find out. I'm trying to think of what I probably have many shadows. There's probably
Well, but I remember when we talked. I mean, whether someone gets it specific, but you were talking about the willingness to face what scares you, or the willingness to face the shame, or
yeah.
just that willingness. If there's a child, I don't necessarily know that I know exactly what the thing is. I'm just going to be there with them. See, I love that
Totally.
what you just said there. Throw away
Yeah.
the key. You're mine.
Hmm.
I don't care if everybody's making fun of your dress or your hair's ugly, whatever. You're still mine.
Correct.
Take my hand. Stay with
Yep.
me the whole party.
I'm not going anywhere ever
I'm
for
not
it.
going anywhere.
Yep. Yeah, I love that. In fact, you know those little dolls, like the you push them over and it goes bubbles, goes right back up
Uh-huh.
again.
Mhm.
Yep. Well, had some things go down with some clients last night. Normally it'll take me a good day or two, maybe a weekend, because I just care so deeply. And I just want, the best of results. But I was back up within 12 hours. And this morning I did my roll around on the living room express my little girl who just wanted to do, oh, just the baddest things, all the politically incorrect things. I was mad. And of course, I'm beyond that, and I should be able to. No, I gave myself permission to be a bratty little mad girl, and I rolled around and I screamed bloody murder. I felt fantastic. And then instantly I went into compassion, understanding, allowance, forgiveness. Like it just was this elegant, natural flow. But when it gets dammed up, and I don't let myself feel what's true, the shadow, the taboo, what have you. Yeah, it doesn't work. And we're separating from ourselves. So of course we're going to separate from men, from others, when we're dating.
Yeah, I think even with that, especially from a man's standpoint, if you're afraid to let me see that side, or
Yeah.
you're afraid to see it yourself, you're not going to let me see it.
Right.
And
Oh.
then there's things you do to cope for that. Maybe
Mhm.
my favorite one is, and we've all done this, is when someone laughs when something isn't funny.
Right.
They say something painful and they laugh. Again, we've all done it,
Yeah.
but it's a disconnect. Like
Right.
with men, it gives us the wrong impression. Like, oh,
Right.
okay, she must be tougher than she really is. Well,
Right.
no, but I don't want to be weak.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
sometimes you feel weak.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the man that's afraid of that's probably not a good fit for you.
Correct. Correct. It's a good litmus test, isn't it?
Hmm.
Yeah. Oh, I really, really love this. What do you say? So many women complain that the men are the ones that are emotionally unavailable, not that they take any ownership that they are not emotionally available. What do you say to any of your clients who sort of point the finger and blame the guy for it?
So I like the idea of to start with, there's probably some truth in what they're saying. So are men emotionally unavailable in general compared to women? Sure. There's those that just stick their head in the sand and have no interest. Usually men will view that as like taking responsibility. If I take responsibility, I'm willing to listen, I'm willing to lean in, I'm willing to protect. And what I tell women is I say, ladies, men are not as good at this as you are. You're sometimes I think you give men too much credit that we pick up on things, that we understand the nuances. I said,
Mm.
we don't. I said, we're kind of binary with a lot of this emotional stuff.
Mm.
What we do is we feed off of you. And then based on your reaction. So if you're happy, I did something good. I'm simplifying it, but it feels that
Yeah,
way to us. If you're
yeah.
upset, okay, what did I do wrong? Whether I did anything wrong, but at least let me know if you're upset and why. Okay, because that emotion is something I crave because
Mm.
I don't access it as easy as you ladies do. I
Mm.
mean, a
Mm.
concert I do, sex, something euphoric, but that didn't happen a lot for us
Sure, nature. Yeah.
because in nature, yes, it's our protective, shut it down, focus kind of stuff. I don't want to feel all the time.
Yeah.
That would be overwhelming to me. But I
Oh.
love being able to experience it through you.
Mm.
Through you, it's like a wonderland. I mean, it's
Mm.
irritating at times and then fascinating and then overwhelming and then healing. But it's all of it. There's a
Yeah,
reason why men
it's
seek
a
out women,
mystery.
and we
Yeah.
always will. Yes,
Yeah.
that quality you have.
Mm.
And so if he's shut down, especially if there's a pattern, it's like, well, why do you end up with unemotional guys all the time? Just curious. Now, I'm not even accusing. I'm just curious as to why.
Mm.
Men are just awful. Well, probably all men aren't awful, right? Probably.
Right.
I mean, if we approach it kind of gently like that and let them
Yeah.
see,
Yeah.
'cause most of the time I found the women do know on one level. They're just afraid to be blamed again and
Mm.
put down again and
Yeah.
shamed again.
Yeah.
And I love your approach of the curiosity and let's just find the answer to this.
Yeah.
Rather, who cares who's wrong? Let's just fix it.
Mm. Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. Um, how do you, yeah, how do you help women, I guess, take ownership without judgment, self-judgment? How do you help them take that responsibility without um, taking themselves out of the game and
Hmm.
continuing to shame themselves even more once they go, "Oh crap, I'm the one creating all this."
Yeah. This is the advantage I think you and some of the female coaches or therapists have is that I have to be a little more gentle, I think, just because I'm a man. It's just a little
Mm.
more awkward for them. And I'm real big on not putting yourself down because I think that's a lie. Now, if you've done something wrong, feel awful and let's do something to fix it. That's fine.
Right, right.
But I'm broken. I'm this over there. I say, well, my issue is I don't know that that's true.
Mm.
You're not, you're elastic. I don't say it this way. What I'm referring to, as I say, is it doesn't matter so much what you've done or where you've been. It really doesn't. Your future's not set. It
Yes.
doesn't. So, okay, if you see it now, that's supposed to feel overwhelming. So a lot of it's just normalizing. If you don't feel overwhelmed or don't feel, I don't think you're being serious. Because when you
Mm.
really see it, it is overwhelming. It's like, oh, it's like shame. Shame is
Yes.
a great thing when you do something wrong. Shame, lack of shame is terrifying in
Yeah.
someone. They have
Yeah.
no remorse.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so when they do that, just to normalize it and provide hope with them, which is there's an answer to this. This
Yeah.
is fixable. I promise you, this is so fixable. This
Mm.
this this is doable. This happens
Mm.
all the time.
Mm.
You just haven't happened yet. So I understand why it's Oh my gosh, I'm doubtful. That's fine. That's what like you and me, Lena, for is just we've seen this. We've done it a lot of times. You don't
Yeah.
have to do this alone.
Yeah.
And most of the ones at that point, by the time they're talking or have a sense of relief of they're still scared, don't know how to do it. So you don't have to know how to do it.
Right.
That's my job.
Right.
I mean, I want your help, but
Yeah. We're in this together. That's so
Mhm.
beautiful. That's so beautiful. And I imagine on some level, opening up to you, a man, on the one hand, maybe you need to be more aware of your masculine qualities or be a little more gentle. But on the other positive side of it, they're literally practicing what it's like to be real, vulnerable, feel their feelings in front of a man. And you
Mhm.
didn't yell at them and you didn't leave the room,
Yes.
right? You didn't make them wrong. And so that to me would really support their nervous system. Like I have female coaches, but I tend more often to have male coaches because my nervous system's wounds are around the masculine and I want to be obviously grow and evolve, but I want my nervous system to go, oh, no, 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 you can be safe with a man.
Mhm.
There are good men. And who are you when you're not dissociated and freaking out? What comes alive within you? So, so yeah, what happens? So their feelings, they're getting the second date and it's starting to get deeper, which is delicious, but it can also be more terrifying. And maybe even another layer of the shadow comes up. What do you see as sort of like the next mm, block or the next place they could sabotage it, but you help them not sabotage it so it gets, to engagement, to
Yeah,
marriage?
that's a great question. Because I like to find out is with right before it starts to get exciting or delicious, I love that word,
Mhm.
is, what do you tend to do when you get nervous? What do you tend to do? Are you chatty? Are you quiet? Are you, looking for something tangible that they have
Mm.
some control over? And as opposed to, don't feel this or don't do that as much as, all right, so if you feel nervous and get quiet, just remember, make it a point. It's okay to be quiet, but just to stretch a little bit beyond your comfort level. Just ask a question or two. I'm just looking for just a marginal
Right,
something so they don't fall back on a coping skill.
right, right.
And still a lot of the normalizing to me is let's anticipate if this is someone you like, you're supposed to feel nervous.
Yes,
If you're not nervous, you're probably dating the wrong person. You're
yes.
supposed to feel this. I wouldn't get it if you're like, oh, no big deal. He's not your guy. He's so
Mm.
not your guy. If it's now again, I like to give someone a chance, 1 or 2 dates, but at some point, if you're not feeling it, that's not
Yeah,
helping him either.
right.
So when they normalize it, I find is that puts a different spin on what you were talking about of, oh, I can feel this stuff, I can experience it. Yeah. And
Mm.
that's not who I am. No, it's not. That's just what you're feeling. That's not who you are.
Right,
Those emotions go up and down all the time.
right.
But you don't go up and down from as a person. Your nose doesn't get bigger, your ears get bigger because you're scared.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's beautiful. So anticipate it, stretch, and don't judge yourself. And it's actually a good sign, not a bad
Mhm.
sign. I love that.
Mhm.
How do you help them distinguish? Because I totally agree that if it's somebody important, um, you're going to be more aware because you don't want to mess it up. And you will get a little more nervous. And then there's also to the extreme, those like trauma bonding intoxicated. He said I'm the one on date number one, and I can't get, and we know something really is about to explode in their face. How do
Yeah.
you support that? It's almost like a way of thinking you have found the one, and you so have
hmm
not.
hmm Yeah.
How do you help them through that?
I mean, maybe they found the one, but there's no way to know based on what you're saying. You're right.
Mm,
That's more like you said, just the trauma bond, something extends. You know what's tough, and tell me what you think. When
mm.
someone's saying that, they have a hard time hearing me. I mean, they're listening, but I can tell that
They
the
don't want to hear
hormones,
you.
they don't want to hear me. They're just,
Nope.
I'm a lawyer, I'm an attorney, and I don't spiel this often. And so because I'm intelligent, it's not put down. I've just heard this. I got this. Ooh, don't think you got it. But okay, they're the client. I'm not. But if they're open to it,
Yeah.
it's more of a, remember anything intense, I tell them, let's just be a little suspicious. It's not wrong. It's just, remember, your brain doesn't know. So he smiles and your brain's filling in the gaps. He smiles, he's kind. Maybe he may just have good teeth. He may not be kind. We haven't seen him when he's angry. We don't know what he's
Right.
like when he's bored.
Right.
And when I
Right.
get them to focus on this, I said, slow him down early. I said, that
Mm.
is not good for men to go fast. That's not how they bond. Men don't
Right.
bond with intensity. Women, more so can, but men, no. That's why they crash. They get really, and they say stuff and they mean it, and they've experienced this. No, they don't like that, but at least it makes sense to slow him down. So don't see him as often as he would like early on.
Mm,
Let's don't have any future talk. Oh, let's don't. It's easy to do. Let's don't do that. No, that's, and you're so wonderful. That's lovely. I appreciate that. This is such a wonderful dinner. Let's just enjoy it. And I try to get them to redirect that.
mm,
That fights against what they feel. But I'm after this is the guy that's going to be with you for the rest of your life. He's not
mm.
going to mind being paced. He's not
Yeah.
going to mind that one bit. If he
Beautiful.
does, that's kind of an impulsive quality. That makes me
Correct.
nervous.
Correct. Yeah. And the part of her that likes that, right? How do you handle healing and evolving that part of her that doesn't do alone well, that
Mm.
is empty and does want it to go fast so she doesn't have to feel that fear of dying alone, of never
Oh,
being
that's a great
chosen?
description. That really is, because that's exactly what folks talk about. I think a lot of it is the prep beforehand. I mean, by the time they're all riled up, it's really hard to rein it in. It's not that you can't, it's just much more difficult. So a lot of times before I mean, they're dating before they meet someone wonderful. A lot of the prep is more of let's anticipate that the way you're doing it probably isn't working so well. And it just means we're going to make an adjustment. We're not blowing it up. And that thing you think of really intense, tell me what you think, Elaine. What I found is it's not to label someone, but the more trauma or abuse someone's been through,
Yeah.
the more they focused on got to feel it really intense. Because if it's really intense, then I know I'm not making a mistake. They
Mm.
don't consciously say that, but I see that they're much more susceptible to the trauma bond, to the love bombing, to the really intense stuff. Have you seen that?
Yeah. And because I've gone through my own trauma, a lot of trauma work personally, and then with my clients, when they're not in their body, they're doing fakey fake face. And they are not connected to their heart, their intuition, their knowing. They can't be slow, they can't be present, they can't be grounded. So it's almost like that's a bit of a fantasy out there. And so anything that makes them feel, because they're not in their body, helps them. And so because they're not in there to feel the nuances, to be grounded, they need that level of intensity to feel. So they're only attracted to the crazy and let's get married tomorrow and let's move in right away and all this kind of stuff because they're not even in their body. And that way they bypass having to actually go into their body and feel what actually needs to be felt and healed from the trauma. So it's like this whole sort of bypassing mayhem that occurs, says someone who's lived all the way through it, to the explosion on the other side. And so I like what you're saying. Bef if they've had a pattern, it's not working. Let's take, 2 steps back to take 10 steps forward. Let's go inside and let's get back in the body and let's feel what you don't want to be feeling.
Yeah, I
All
really love
through.
that you're talking
Mm,
about the body because as you're saying that, I may steal that from you. Is that's something tangible I can reconnect with? That's a great visual to do that. And as you're saying that, that makes perfect sense to know where I'm at. Because if
mm,
I'm not here, then I'm all over the place. There's no boundaries outside here. It's whatever
correct.
thoughts, feeling, and that's what I've seen. And you're right. And that gives them something they can reconnect to. They may not want to, but at least it's a pathway back toward being centered or slowed down or soothing.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Because for me, having been highly traumatized and gone through a tremendous amount of healing with it, when I'm out of my body with fakey fake face, that's a fakey fake face to be safe and loved and not
Mhm.
abused and not, traumatized again.
Mhm.
But it's also 24/7 hypervigilance.
Yes.
I have adrenal fatigue. I'm going a million miles an hour, and I just got to keep going because on the weekends, let's go party or let's work our ass
Mhm.
off. Let's not, because as soon as I slow down and I get back in the body, then I got to feel.
Mhm.
So if they can go, oh, that's me. I am a
Mhm.
workaholic. I am a party girl. I am a whatever it is. I hate to slow down. It's boring. I'm like, let's just
Mhm.
try it. Let's see what's there. And then as soon as they start to go in, generally, my experience with level 4, 3, 2, 1 trauma, the first feeling is hopelessness. I'll never find
Mhm.
love. What's wrong with me? Why should I even be here? Well, who wants to feel that?
Mhm.
Let's go, go, go.
Right.
Let's meet the
Mhm.
next guy. Let's go on the next date.
Mhm.
He's the
Let's
one.
fix this.
Let's get married again, says Alana on her second marriage. Like, let's, right?
Mhm.
Um, without dealing with the issue. And as counselors, when we can help their literal body sit with that, and I like the visual of the little girl, be with her and acknowledge you have every right to feel this way. As we feel and acknowledge and reconnect with ourselves, at least for me, it passes. It passes. The hopelessness passes. Unfortunately, or fortunately, but it's on the way home to zero. So it is fortunate, but it's challenging. Level two trauma, that's the intense stuff that we've been running from: panic, terror, rage, the really, really rough stuff. How do you help them through feeling through that so their autonomic nervous system can finally rest in their body, which of course connects them to their intuition and their hearts can be open and which is, safer for their being, all the good things. But
Yeah,
sometimes those
it's where the magic is too for them.
totally, but those intense moments, most of my clients, it takes a lot of rapport, safety, maybe a intensive weekend or a retreat, something where um, they don't just abort mission. They feel it. How do you help them
You
there?
know, what's been fun for me, especially doing the podcast, is hearing different ideas. And
Yeah,
so listening to you, I'm convinced there's a term equifinality, all roads lead to Rome. There's many different ways of getting there. And
yeah, yeah,
so I think our goal is similar. Is for them to, what we re-experience without the same outcome becomes whole. So all of a sudden, if I'm terrified of anger, someone could get angry at me and they don't go off on me like my parent did. Oh, it's okay for someone to feel anger. But I don't know that until I experience it and
correct.
separate that from like a temper.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And I've done it one-on-one with someone. Our group thing with the campfire, what I found when we'd have them journal, and in their journaling, they're writing, just write about anything. And then I comment in there, like, and I'm speaking to their emotions, literally like each emotion's a little girl, like
yeah,
hello, anger, hello, sad, hello.
yep.
And I tell them, I want you to see how different I talk to them versus how you talk to them.
Mm,
And, one week after about a month, they're like, okay, am I doing this right? That's fine. And usually at some point, about the second month or so of, oh, and one of the person now is saying, "Oh my gosh, I understand this talking to these little people thing." That's what she calls it, and she now it starts to spill over into her day to day life when she feels stuff instead of clamp it down, shut it down,
right, right.
because we've been practicing and doing it, and she's seen me say it to her over and over and over in different ways. That repetition, taking time,
Yeah,
I think is what helps people to trust it. If, oh, this really, what you said is perfect. If I listen to it, just like if I listen to a child or give it food if it's hungry, it
yeah,
calms down.
yeah,
It's and there's a reason we're feeling that because that I find the tendency is I don't want to feel X, so let me jump to solutions. Say, well, why are you feeling X? So
yeah,
until you slow down, your point, I don't even know why I'm feeling. I'm feeling it because something's happening. It's not
yeah,
just a random feeling. I mean,
right,
in general. And then can we address the problem versus just make the feeling go away? And I'm
right.
guilty of that too. Absolutely. I can play video game or I can, eat sugar.
Sure,
but that isn't not so much just good for me. That leads to a crash.
right.
And then if I'm a woman, the tense is I want a man to help fix the crash.
Mm,
He can do that at times. If he does that a lot, he becomes dad.
right, right.
But
Yeah,
that process you're talking about is, and the nice part, is once you go through it, you always have some scar tissue. But scars are no big deal after a while. I got scars on my skin. I don't even think about. They
right,
don't hurt.
right.
They don't. And that gives you a level of empathy. I think that's probably, I'm guessing here from armchair quarterback, is why you do what you do, especially so
Yeah,
well, is because you've been through it. I mean, there's a
yeah,
difference in someone just read it versus lived it.
totally.
And I don't wish anyone to go through trauma, but I wouldn't trade what it gives them the chance to learn, what it gives
Mm,
them a chance to help others themselves.
mm,
I'm convinced anyone that's really kind has been through pain. Now,
mm,
not everyone's been through pain. Yeah, some are just bitter, but anyone that's really kind has been through pain, and
mm,
they've chosen that. And I just
mm,
think you have to have that level of empathy. You get it, and so I just don't want to waste it when we go
mm,
through it. It's a
mm.
wonderful component to bring into a relationship. It's not a broken thing. It gives you a huge advantage, I believe.
Oh, it's so beautiful. You're healing my heart as you're saying this. You're so right. It was like, you can't see the forest for the trees, but you're right. Kind, authentically kind people, they've integrated their trauma into forgiveness, compassion, surrender. gratitude, and yeah, happy and grateful for the small things and genuine kindness. I so love that. If we shift over from the single ladies, all the single ladies, to someone dating or in a relationship. And the way I it's sort of like a Mago theory. Like the way I see it is there's this loop that never got fulfilled. See me, mommy. Don't go to work all the time, daddy, or worse if it's more abusive. But there was this unfulfilled need that now an adult is seeking. So even though the profile might say I'm looking for someone who's, a great listener, they will attract the one that can't listen for shit
Right.
because the need is to be listened to that never
Hmm.
occurred growing up. So here they are. They found somebody fairly sane, fairly healthy. They want to
Hmm.
give it a go, but damn it, he's a horrible listener. And
Hmm.
and to me, I try to use a little humor and tongue in cheek. I'm like, well, that's who you, and here's the why you attracted
Hmm.
it. And what if the two of you could heal? Because I bet you're a slam dunk for something he never got as
Hmm.
well. And in a relationship, consciously awake, taking ownership, you could, instead of blaming the other, go, oh my God, it's not you. What's happening right now is triggering my wound around my dad, around my mom, around whatever. And can you just be with me as we literally integrate in the moment in front of our partner and not turn them into our mentor or dad or mother? How do you coach women who are in relationship or married when they're convinced it's the other ones? If only the other one would change, everything would be fine.
That was pretty good right there, what you said.
Yeah.
So I'll put a little paint on it, but that was the foundation part you described is
You
perfect.
agree
The
it's the same.
ownership,
Yeah.
yeah, the awareness of it, and I like the ideally it's before they do this a relationship, but if they're in it,
Mm.
part of the normalizing is I believe that marriage is designed to heal childhood injuries. Now,
Yeah. Same.
I can't write a book on that because no one would buy it.
Oh,
But
well, I would. I
I mean,
would.
you would buy it, yes, but just it'd be have to have a better title. But
Uh,
I say they're going to stir up your stuff. Now,
yeah.
what we're after
Yeah.
is someone that stirs it up. That's also healthy for you. That's a good fit.
Yeah.
He's going to make you feel scared if that's what you're afraid of when he's quiet. Okay, or if he's loud, or if it's something he's going to do, it's going to hit
Yep.
that thing.
Yep.
And
Yep.
then you're going to realize, oh, he's not the same person as I had growing up. He's not huh. And then you're going to make this transition to, it's mind blowing. I'm like, a man can be mad at me and still be safe. And for
Yeah.
all these years, you've carried that around, and it served you. In fairness, it served you until
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
And I call it the difference between adult coping skills and childhood coping skills. Say childhood are to keep you safe, keep you sane. Kids do whatever they have to survive. So we're
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
not blaming,
Yeah.
but they're so powerful, they don't do well with adults. I mean, if I'm an adult and if I was picked on and no one's going to pick on me, I'm going to end up in jail if I keep that coping skill. Someone says something to me, I'm going to jack them up or get in a fight. I mean, that's too much for an adult.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I have to trade that in because those coping skills, those childhood ones, are designed to keep us safe, not
Yeah.
help us fall in love, not be a great wife. No, keep us safe at all cost.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I'll date guys that are unavailable. I'll date, and you've seen this with unconscious stuff. People swear they're going to date a nice guy. They swear, but the moment they get bored, nope, he's out. So where's Mr. Excitement? I know he's crap, but where's Mr. Hmm. And hopefully they get tired enough. At least by the time they become my client, they're tired. They're like, I'm tired of doing this. It's okay. It doesn't have to stay like this, but I do need you tired and willing to, you're not just going to plow through this because you're going to keep dating the same guy with a different face.
Right. Right. Totally. Totally agreed. What do you say to them when they have attracted, they used to do the bad guy, let's say this example you have, and then they've attracted somebody healthy and kind, and then they're bored
Oh, they're bored.
because
They're
this,
so bored.
their nervous
They're
system,
so
where's my
bored.
hit? Where's
They're
my
so
drama?
bored. Yes, let's see, because I mean, a lot of things I find are terrified of bored. That they don't like yelling and all, but at least they kind of know what to do with that. But bored
Mm,
feels because it's so unfamiliar, like you said, their nervous system's so jacked up.
yeah.
What I like to do, if I can get them ahead of time, is the idea of tell me what's really important to you. And we go through that. I don't care what it is, you can pick whatever you want, but I get a real small list. There's only a few things that are critical for each person, not a list of 10, like three. That's why I say
Yeah.
you have to have these, whatever those are.
Yeah.
Kind. One woman picked tall. She's 5'10". She said, I feel like an Amazon. Okay, put it on there. That's what it means to you. I said, every other guy, we're going to give him a chance. As long as he's got those three, which means if you don't feel excitement, I don't care. I have to know them to say this. I said, because unless you tell me which of those three he violated, I want you to give him another chance. You're not forcing yourself, but it's his job to win you over. That's all, Matt. Just it's his job to sell you. It's his job to convince you. That's all he wants is a chance. If he doesn't, no problem. But what I found is that oftentimes if they, because you tell me, but women I think just fall in love different than men, and there's just more points of things that affect them and all. I mean, men are just simpler, I think. And they get to know him, and something happens, or she sees him kind with the waiter or something, different things. She goes, huh,
Oh
it's
yeah.
kind of, and it affects how she sees him. I mean, he doesn't go from
Totally.
a 5 to a 10, but he goes from a 7 to a 9. I mean, I hear this all the time. They're like, golly, he's so, and it's funny when I hear on the other end. And so if I can get them to know, focus on those things because it gives them something tangible. And until he violates, I don't want them relying on intuition. I love intuition, but it's not intuition what they're doing. They're just doing intensity dating.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
it feels high, it's good, it feels so that's what I found has been
Mm.
helpful for them.
That's really a great point. Um, and it's a real justification and a great way to just push people away. You know,
Mhm.
it's my truth or it's my intuition.
Mhm.
And yet it's a train wreck ready to happen.
Mhm.
And someone who doesn't know how to be in their body and hear their intuition,
Mhm.
I don't think they're trying to be argumentative even sometimes. I think they really
Mhm.
think they know.
Mhm.
And I think they really think they're listening to their intuition, but really it's this nervous system that's terrified until something familiar, which is often unhealthy, but it's
Yes.
familiar, then their nervous
Mhm.
system is like, okay, I know this. Where's the narcissist? I'll marry him. Like
Yes.
I need another. Like, like that's me.
Waiter, I'd like to order.
I like to order another narcissist
Uh-huh.
because my body's like, oh, I know this.
Uh-huh.
So
Uh,
people that are very kind, as you
mhm.
were saying, very present, I literally get it. Like I'll start to cry, and I'm practiced at being very vulnerable, and I just I am I feel so safe right now. I want to run out the door, which
Oh, that's a great line. That's a great way to
it's
describe it.
true.
It is true, but that's a
Yeah, because I'm ready any minute for you to take my head off.
yeah.
And I want more than anything to relax right now. Yeah. And so
Well,
it's
I mean,
mm,
someone that's good for us is the one that could hurt us the most because we'll let them get close. At
true.
least if you're an idiot or you're mean, I can keep you at a certain distance. I can idealize you. I mean, I see
Yeah.
men do this at times with some of the women they've dated. I'm like, you're never going to marry her, right? I don't know. She's so much fun. I'm like, she treats you like crap.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
another subject. But when folks do that, it's the person good for you. They could. Let's just admit it. It is more vulnerable. You could get blindsided. They could cheat
Yeah.
on you. They could rob a
Yeah.
bank. I mean, all kinds of possibility
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
And they're thinking of those and trying to plan. I said, you can't plan for it.
Yeah.
There's no way to plan for getting hurt.
Yes.
You end up living in a coffin if you do that.
Totally.
So is this the person you want to take a risk with? Is probably a better question.
That's a
And yes, they
beautiful
could hurt
question.
you,
Yeah.
but they could also heal.
Yeah. You could also heal with them. And this is why I love my focus being about intimacy is like, even if they reject you, are you going to reject you? Like,
Ooh, that's good.
can you
Yeah.
develop enough inner connection, inner intimacy that you can take these risks consciously? You can be present. You can sit in the fire. You can go through all of this and consciously risk because even if it doesn't go bad, and everyone's gonna be a human, so at some point you're gonna get hurt. Even if you're married to them for 20 years, it's gonna happen, right? And so we can't have the just getting hurt and then out the door we go. We've got to create this ability to have our own back and not reject ourselves, even when they're like, ouch, that one hurt. That was a zinger. Um, and and learn how to repair rupture. Yeah, speaking of that, how do you like to guide them in those moments where there has been a rupture, big or small, to repair them with some of these? Maybe that's part of your bio when it says help people that are married get unstuck and begin connecting again. I find often the repair never fully happens. Oh, it happens like 50%, 80%, even 99%, but there's still, I'm not going to ever actually open my heart all the way again.
Yeah, I'm going to borrow a lot from what you said because I think from a playbook standpoint, it's similar. When they're in the middle of it, is to be able to I use the term normalize a lot because it's the same graciousness I would give with a friend, and just to point out and slow down when this happened, whatever this was, you're feeling X. That's normal. I mean, someone yelled at you, I would be upset too. I would be scared. And if we just and reminding them the sense of this is what you're feeling, we said this is not who you are. So okay, you can feel it. It's not going to change you. And as they go through feeling that, I think you mentioned this earlier about I can feel something that just kind of goes away.
Mm.
It's amazing how feelings calm down, just like little children once they're listened to. I mean, little kids sometimes you just listen to them, they're good.
Yeah,
When I
yeah,
used to work with families and I had to see little kids at times, I wanted to be all wise, and it took a few times before I realized they just want me to listen first and as an adult.
yes,
And then
yes,
they'll tell me when they need something.
yes,
Otherwise, puppies, trains, stuff like, okay, that's what we're talking about. Okay, that's what, but just being in their presence with them was what
yes,
felt so safe and giving
yes,
them an undivided attention. And so
yes.
when they're with this and they're feeling so overwhelmed, I always go back to say, what are you feeling right now? I'm mad at him because, okay, yes, okay. So you're mad. Yes, because and then because they want to jump to the
The
solution.
story, the story.
For the story, yes. Before we do the story, okay, you're angry. What are you angry with? And see if you slow them down and teach them how to do that. I'm mad because he did X, and then I interpreted that to mean
Yeah,
Y, whatever it was.
right,
And they may be right with that. Okay,
right.
but first, okay, this is why you're mad. What are our options? What do we want to do? And this is that self-soothing, like we do with a child. You're upset. What would you like me to do? I want you to go beat the principal up. That's not an option. Is there something else you need? And there's a way, I think, we've all had this where when our heart speaks to us, it. It's got a calmer, it's clear when it's time to break up with someone or time to maybe take a job or leave a job.
Yeah,
There's no more fight. It's just, you know what?
truth,
So that's what you're waiting on is that. But
truth.
this intense stuff, like when a kid does this, when I was just my boys, they were, no, I can't hear you. I want to hear you.
Yes,
Just slow down. But I want to hear you. Just,
yeah,
but I can't hear you when you're talking fast.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, this idea of less is more or slowing down and feeling till we get back in the body, when the heart
Yes.
opens up again, when the
Mhm.
truth arises.
Mhm.
Yeah, and to be able to support people in relationship getting there. I I do you do so this campfire, is it like it's in person with people that live
No, we
online?
did it because I always want to be able to take what we're talking about online. So we do it
Yeah,
online and then do a meeting, but then the online journal, they'll do the
yeah.
journal and then I'll check in with them. And so it's fun. It's so
Oh,
much
that's
fun to do.
great. I love my group calls. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah. That's amazing. So you do private and group. Do you do
Hmm.
retreats as well?
I've done one retreat. I just haven't gotten around to it, but
Mm,
I think about doing one, but I
mm,
haven't.
mm. Cool.
But you
Um,
like them.
I let yes and no. They're a lot to organize, so I hire
Yeah.
an event coordinator to handle all the details and pick them up at the airport and get the
Mm.
caterer, and all I have to do is show up and do my work. As a businesswoman, I don't make I generally break even on them. I don't really make
Mm.
much money on them, but they're wonderful for the bonding of the group, which makes
Hmm.
the online group calls even more powerful after. Um,
Mm.
so that's the way I've handled it because it's just
Mm.
too much work otherwise. And I'm happy to introduce her to you if you want someone to just,
You make that so simple, it's worth considering. Because I
yeah.
could see that the way you described that.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I think I did one with Sammy one time, and we made some money. But you're right, the ones afterwards, a lot of them became clients, but it's this chance to get to know you and see you in person. Oh, this is real, and he's a real person, not just personality. So
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Yeah. As soon as I stopped judging myself that I couldn't do a good I could do everything and make money, but then I wasn't very good as a leader. I was exhausted and
Yeah.
then I was like out for like a week after just so tired.
Hmm.
This is I've come to peace with this is the right
No,
way
that's a good balance.
to
Just listen to you. Yeah.
to serve all. And it's not like it's a paid vacation because you're working the whole time, but it's pretty nice to have someone. It's for me to practice receiving someone helping
Yes,
me.
yes.
That's a good practice
Uh-huh.
for me, the control freak who likes to do everything yourself.
Hmm.
So that's a good thing. But I was just the reason I was thinking about it is I for the first time brought in a co-leader for the first 2 days, and then I did my normal 5 days. And she's a client, but she's also led the first 2 days. She's an incredible sexual somatic healer. I didn't I'd never led anything with anybody before. Probably should have asked a hell of a lot more questions. Probably should have like future paced and what if this and what if we do? And so we had the sacred agreements. We had that part down.
Mhm.
But I made the mistake, which I later found out, of literally handing the reins over to her and like becoming a participant as opposed to taking on the masculine role, energetic role, and having her back.
Mhm.
I just like let go because I thought that was
Mhm.
good manners. The good little Canadian
Mhm.
thought that was like the way to do it.
Mhm.
But then she started to do things on the first night so out of alignment with the
Oh,
core, the core values, like
yeah.
maybe even the number one value,
Yeah.
like of how I lead retreats and why every
Mhm.
single client is there and why they've hired me. Like, and I sort of suggested a few things. I suggested it again, it didn't happen. Bob, I lost my shit. I was so triggered, and I knew enough to know this is happening now, and this doesn't work for me, but this is such a big trigger. This must be like way the hell
Mhm.
back, like violation, betrayal, boundaries, all
Mhm.
this. This is triggering something humongo.
Mhm.
And I'm like, okay, and I did that in front of everybody. Okay, and then I slammed the door and went to bed. Okay, what are we gonna do about this? And I thought once I calmed down and journaled a lot, this is a vulnerable teaching moment. If I just talk to her behind the scenes and we clean it up, everybody else is still awkward because they saw Alana
Yes.
lose her shit. And doesn't everybody have rupture and repair as like an
Mhm.
edge in relationship?
Mhm.
None of us are great.
If
Like
they're
I'm
honest, they will say that.
great. If we're
Yeah.
really, really
Yeah.
honest,
If we're
does anybody
honest.
like conflict? Does
No.
anybody like repairing a rupture?
Mhm.
No, right? So I'm like, okay, so what I ended up doing was inviting her to repair the rupture in dyad form. So it wouldn't turn into anything else. We would just keep saying thank you and
Oh,
see
that's a great
and
teaching moment.
in front of everybody. So I asked them, make
Yes.
a circle. We sat together
Yes.
almost in Yab Young, like sitting like really
Mhm.
close to each other, heart to heart, and just being fucking real. It was
Mhm.
uncomfortable for me. You could have, they
Oh, I'm
people
sure
wanted to run.
everyone.
People wanted to
Yes.
run. It was so
Mhm.
uncomfortable for everyone.
Mhm.
But I knew it would be an energetic transmission because I was not going to give up until it was 100% repaired. I didn't care if it took 3 hours. I didn't even care. We were going to get to the other side of this because then I also had to lead a retreat for the next 5 days on top of this as a shaky foundation. Oh hell no, we're gonna repair this as a gift to all. And then I knew by watching us and their nervous systems, they weren't even the ones having to have the conversation, but their nervous systems would make it through the other side,
Mhm.
and they could have the felt experience of, oh, I can be uncomfortable and I can get through the other side.
Yes.
Oh, Alana's not perfect. Oh, that's what never giving up until repaired looks like. Oh, I can do that. Maybe I can do that. But oh my God, it was so uncomfortable. Oh my God, Bob.
Can I tell you how awesome that sounds?
Thank you. I think it was
No, I mean,
unplanned.
I've led groups and I've not like that though. I've never had one, but I know, and especially this is what it looks like to not give up. I mean, when I've hired coaches for different things and they have that attitude, that's so appreciative for me to say, oh, you're not giving up? No, we don't give up.
No,
But
I
we
don't
don't,
give
I mean,
up.
we can change the goal if you want to, but we're not giving up because it's hard.
Same.
That's
I'm a
not a,
never,
not
I'm a
option.
never giver upper.
And to actually do that, for them to see it, that may have been the first time any of them ever saw that.
It's very curious. One woman who does a lot of high level work with the UN and women's groups and like really high level stuff for 20 years, she came up and she goes, I've seen breakdowns a lot in very high level organizations. Never have I seen a repair like this. I've
Oh,
seen them
wow.
giving up at
Yes.
80%. I've seen the
Yes.
fake face, the niceties,
Uh-huh.
but this you could feel it.
Hmm.
So that felt like a great reflection. Other people are now scared of me. Other clients are like,
No,
holy
but I like is
crap,
that's I mean, whether they realize it or not, that's what they paid for.
thank you.
I mean,
Yeah.
they may not realize it. I understand it wasn't planned, but I think us showing up is 80% of how we help people.
Yeah.
And,
Thank you.
and, if, and good days, bad days, and what we do with it as opposed to, I don't have bad days.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's a lie.
Totally.
Everyone's got bad days. Stop.
And the experience of how much closer I was to her after,
Hmm.
and how much more we trust each other and respect each other and have each other's back, and our love grew, and then our creative capacities, exploded after that. And I apologized. I learned, oh, you felt overwhelmed because I didn't have your back. I wasn't your partner. We weren't co-leading.
Mm,
I just gave
mhm,
you the reins and then I would take the reins. That doesn't work. I'm sorry.
mm.
No wonder it was too much for you to handle this, that, and the other.
Yeah,
I had turned into participant. Please forgive me.
yeah.
And for me to
And
be,
Steve, is both of you had good intentions.
oh, for sure.
That's
Yeah,
just an oops thing that happens.
totally.
And you never would have known that unless you'd have pressed in. I mean, I see
Totally.
that with couples a lot. If they didn't press in, they're like, oh, that's what you meant. Yeah, they meant something totally different than the way person took it.
Right,
But it hit a button.
right,
It triggered. It
right.
reminds me of my dad or whatever, and therefore this is your intention.
Mm.
No, that's not
Yeah,
my intention.
yeah. And Bob, it just makes me almost cry in gratitude right now because the healing moment for me was how many men never stick around to heal a rupture with me. This is my entire life. It's my entire,
Mhm.
it's all the marriages, all the relationships, my father, everybody. Nobody ever stuck around to repair the rupture or even cared or even acknowledged there was a rupture or blame me for everything. Like we didn't even get into a conversation about it. So that's why it was such a humongous trigger. I'm like, I mean, I got hopeless. I don't want to be on the planet if people won't never give up and repair ruptures. I don't want to be here. Like, and she
And
did. And
yet,
I love her
well,
so much. And I'm so
and
grateful.
yet you still did it.
Yeah. I showed up again and
Well, I say that because most of the women I talk with, they've tried. I
mm,
mean, there's not a client I have I've seen need to try harder. That's not, rarely, if ever, the issue. It's the will you continue to walk toward it. The ones I find that do well,
mm,
they stumble their way to success. No one glides into success or does a waltz or it's real easy. They mess up and make mistakes and it's sloppy over here, and then they either get married or they have a breakthrough in their marriage. And the part of them's like, how did I do that? You just kept showing up and you
thank
tried new things and you learned just what you did. You walked toward it. And because that's hard to do if you don't have someone helping you. If you just try to do this on your own, and
yeah.
you don't know which things to press into and which not because they both feel awful.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true. So you just want to give up. Yeah.
Yeah, if I don't know versus no, this one's supposed to feel awkward. This one let's address. I've got a coach and they point out to me, I'm like, oh, relief, because I want to fix all five things. No, you don't need to fix five things. Fix number one, number three, the rest let grow. Really? But if I just hear that in someone that makes sense,
Yeah.
oh, I don't have to solve every conflict. No. From a man's standpoint, I'll tell men, sometimes you need to tell her no. What? I don't mean, grab your belt buckle and be Billy Bob like that. But sometimes you need to tell her no because you really don't want to, and you're going to resent her if you keep saying yes all the time, and she's not going to know.
Thank you.
And I
Yeah.
had wives that would tell me, sometimes my husband takes me too seriously. What? It's almost in a whisper. They said, yeah, he does. I said, well, we should probably tell him that, right? I don't know. But they realize at times, I mean, both, I mean, their husbands know that at times, your wife needs to say no.
Yeah.
You need to, that's what makes the closeness, like what you and your example is a great one of, if I don't ask for what I need, how are they going to know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's really great. I find older gentlemen who have like, I guess we could call it come more into their king archetype are more willing to say no and
Hmm.
more in the prince trying to build things, please things, create things. Like
Hmm.
they'll say yes when they mean no. But I I joke. Okay, I'm such a dork. I can't believe I'm telling you this. Okay, so I I'm single. So I'm having a conversation with my beloved, my divine masculine at the dinner table. And I'm literally getting my ass up and I'm walking over to the other seat and I'm talking to myself and I'm walking back and I'm having these conversations.
Uh-huh.
Um, and I basically said, I tell everybody what to do all day long. I'm like guiding this and coaching this and facilitating this and organizing that. Or like, I need you to tell me what to do. I just need to turn off and I need you to tell me what to do. And he's like, really? I'm like, yeah, it kind of turns me on. I just want you to take charge.
No, that's great.
And
Guys love stuff like that.
oh, I told
They,
the
they
truth. I
do.
finally told the truth.
Well, but it's the way you did it because it wasn't a demand. It wasn't, but it starts from this is what, I mean, it was really a request, but it was so authentic and so genuine. I mean, I tell women, I say, guys don't mind that. What they hate is a sense of entitlement.
Mm,
I work hard all the time. Why don't you?
no, no, no,
That doesn't turn me on. That's
no.
irritating.
Yeah.
But the way you did it was that's like, oh, you want to be your hero? Yes, please. Oh, I'd love to. I mean, it just kicks that right in.
Yeah.
You did it, but it's vulnerable. But that's, I think, women's strong suit when they're willing to do that. Or see that me, now I'm picturing it. you going right into your body. I'm starting to get your lingo. I love it. And your body, and he can feel it. He can,
Yes. I was literally sitting at the dining room table with myself, crying with one cup of coffee, and he had a cup of coffee. And then I told him what I wanted, and I went over and I was
Mhm.
him. Well, you should eat your potatoes. I go, yeah, tell me things like that. That's so good.
That's
Then I go back to
funny.
my seat.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
just the playfulness came out
Yes,
after I
yes.
got really vulnerable and asked
Mhm.
for what I need, and that,
Yeah.
and I could feel the feelings of trusting him when I was play acting in
Mhm.
my little gestalt,
Sure. Yeah,
exercise.
yeah.
But I'm like, I still am a work in progress. I'm still out of my body. Can I trust him?
Mhm.
Hypervigilant. But when I let myself come in to my body and then I feel these vulnerable feelings and I share them, I can feel whether he's trustable or not. I can't
Yes.
when I'm spinning in my head.
How else will you know unless you're inside?
Totally, you won't.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
was in and then I made my vulnerable request and then I was myself on the other side of the table, but I
Mhm.
could feel the divine masculine within myself, looking at
Mhm.
myself. I'm like, no, he cares about her. So then I went back over and I was the feminine part of me. And I'm like, no, he does care. I can trust this one. He doesn't need to be perfect,
Mhm.
but I can trust he's got good intentions. And oh, how that felt in my body. So now, if you know anybody single, you should land is single. Good man, no good man, I'm thinking. So, oh,
Oh, so I find the more a woman does that,
mm.
not to get too general,
See you next week on Intimate Conversations. Get out there and make love to life.
You know, when I used to spin so fast and be in my head, I would really miss a lot of what was going on around me. In South Carolina here, like there's a deer walking right there. There's like squirrel, beautiful birds, little ones, like little red ones, or beautiful blue ones. Then there's these huge like blue herons and these gorgeous white egresses, and there's like a lot of eagles around here and hawks. This hawk the other day just flew right there, got the squirrel, kept flying. Just wow, gorgeous. There's a raccoon there's a property being built across the street, and he comes by at sunset just to see what the workers left around, little snacks. And then it's like caterpillar season or moth season right now. And they're friggin' everywhere. Like everywhere I look, they're hairy, and the hairs sting. So they're everywhere. I don't like them. And then the other morning, I woke up and stretched, and I sat up and I went down to stretch my little toes. Cockroach. No, they call them palmetto bugs here. Anyways, this big, right there, on the bed. Google. Just like the time when I saw the bald eagle that was on the ground, got the snake and flew right over the golf cart, right over my head. Remember when that happened? Oh. Crazy. I had to Google what that meant. That meant the triumph of good over evil. Well, what the hell does a palmetto bug on your bedspread mean? Apparently, change and transformation. Okay. I got out the roach spray. That's what I did. So anyways, nature. The beauty. The not so beautiful. Just taking it all in. It's really windy today. I've been through hurricanes in North Carolina. There's, thunder and lightning storms like I've never been in my whole life. And I'm comparing this because I just got off a Zoom call with a past client. And she's from British Columbia, where I grew up. And just, I don't know, something about the animals and bugs there. Maybe it's just because I grew up there. It wasn't quite as intense as here. But anyways, it was just neat to feel how far I am on one side of North America, on the other side of North America. Like, how the hell did that happen? So when it comes to relationships, we think we're going to marry this one, and we marry this one, and we think we're going to date this one, and we end up dating that one, or we think we're going to be in a long-term relationship that's super short. We think we're not the marrying type. We've been together for 30 years. Like, isn't it wild? I think the divine is in charge, really, ultimately, when it comes to relationships. If we listen, if we hear, whatever your soul's journey is around relationships, please do your best not to compare yourself to others, because who knows what your soul signed up for. You might be someone like me who's been through a couple divorces and is still single in their 50s. You might be someone who's been in a relationship for 40 years already. We're all here for our own soul's evolution. And the more I ascend into 5D and beyond, it's so much more about intimacy with the soul, intimacy with the heart. I've always been about that kind of intimacy with self first. But the beginning stages were mainly just, can I love me? Can I love little me? And what I really loved about Bob Grant and his point of view right out of the gate with our interview, didn't you love how we talked about, let's go meet your shadow and embrace her. You think you're ugly? Let's just be ugly. You think you're stupid? Let's just be stupid. For me, it's like, you want to be a hot mess, Alana? Just be a hot mess. And stop trying to hide and pretend that we're not this thing we're afraid everybody's going to find out. Like, just friggin' be it. And how freeing that is. To stop hiding. And then after that, to start actually quite having this endearing relationship with these aspects of ourselves that are just doing their best. And it's apparently, according to the success of his clients, quite attractive when somebody's actually authentic and just being who they are. And lovely man, one of the reasons why he really respects me is that I'll just be vulnerable and real with him. I really enjoyed this podcast. I hope you did too.
over on Patreon next, where I'm joining you, inviting you to join us. He danced up a storm. He's like, oh my God, I cannot wait to show this video to my sons. And the not intensity, but what's the word I'm looking for? Intentionality, I think is what it was, that he answered the questions on Patreon. Like he really, really had never been asked the depth of those questions before, and it really made him ponder. And he took time, and his answers were phenomenal. So I think you're really going to enjoy after the show on Patreon, patreon.com/Alana Pratt. And over on Patreon, not only will you see after the show with all of my podcast guests dancing and answering these questions, this is now where I give weekly truth transmissions. Those used to be my newsletters in my emails, but now I provide weekly truth transmissions, monthly deep dive dens where I go into a lot more detail of some coaching concepts, but then I really apply them and teach you a lot more. I answer your questions personally. Ask Alana, and unfiltered. Okay, the color of birds here in the south, like blue bird just flew right there. Incredible. I lost my train of thought. Yeah, and I'd say probably the most, what's the word? The privilege of being so vulnerable with you. We also have behind the scenes videos, things that I guess sometimes I get flagged with on YouTube or Instagram, topics that can be controversial, but it's about bringing sacredness to taboo. It's about talking about things that are hard to talk about, and a lot of these behind the scenes moments, which I just be. And long story short, remember how I just had reconnected with that client from British Columbia? I was telling her some things I was up to. She goes, oh, you should do a video about that. People don't do that. I'm like, doesn't everybody do that? So there's a lot of unconscious competences that I'm bringing into conscious competency, and then sharing with you what works for me so that it can work for you. So thank you for being with us here on Intimate Conversations. I'll see you over on Patreon, patreon.com/Alana Pratt. Please follow Bob Grant. He's awesome. And whatever offerings resonate with him, he's got a 15-minute call. The link is in the show notes. And connect with him if he resonates with you, because it takes all of us to support all of us. We're one big relationship intimacy family, really here to support your thriving relationships. Okay, I'm going to go off and go for a walk and be with all these creatures. I love you so much.